This is crazy. I've never actually smoked weed before.
Welcome, everyone, to another episode of Send Us Flowers, where we only curate the absolute best vibes. I'm your host, Busy, and I am here today with Austin Kress, a.k.a. Stoney McBlaze.
Hello.
And you are an epic comedian.
Thank you so much.
Like, I laugh so hard at your videos.
Thank you.
And I'm really excited for you to be here today. Honestly, I wanted to talk about what stimulated this podcast recording. I wrote a piece on High Times and someone tagged you.
Yes.
And was like, you don't blaze.
Yeah. That is a consistent comment. So thank you so much for having me, first of all. That's a consistent comment that I get on my videos, and yeah, it's funny. It's funny to me. I don't know. I don't know if there's been a famous person who's created a character around weed that didn't smoke at all.
Yeah.
It seems crazy. I don't know why you would want to be associated with weed if you didn't love weed. I mean, I guess maybe it's like so mainstream and like cool now to like be a stoner. Maybe.
Ooh,
is it finally cool? Is it like cool?
Know.
I mean, Wiz Khalifa and Snoop Dogg are like pioneers in the field. They may have made it cool.
I would agree.
To where you'd want to steal weed valor.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I think it's funny that people think that I don't smoke, and it's also funny because how am I gonna prove it to you? Like, people want to see me smoke on social media, which I don't do because I'm not a fan of getting flagged. I recently just had TikTok, you can't even talk about it.
It's so hard.
You
I
can't
was
even
deleted,
talk.
like, immediately.
Yeah, you can't even talk about it. My first ever TikTok was actually me hitting a bong and challenging Snoop Dogg to a smoke off.
Amazing.
And that was before I knew anything about TikTok, and they took it down right away.
Yeah, they were like gone, deleted.
Yeah, instantly. So you gotta be super careful on TikTok. And then Instagram, even recently, like I had videos where I wasn't smoking. It was just like weed related stuff. And they shadow banned me, except that they told me I was shadow banned. And basically they were like, your account status, we won't recommend you to the explore page if you don't delete these certain posts. So I did, because I am more interested in being able to like get my jokes out there than like any specific, whatever. So I don't smoke on camera for those reasons. But I definitely blaze. And this brings up such an interesting thing too, because part of me wants to smoke to like prove the haters wrong, but part of me is like, fuck you. Why do I have to prove anything to you? Why do I need to prove it to you? I don't care if you fucking think I smoke or not.
I saw him smoke.
Yeah, people see me smoke. I'll
smoke
later. Maybe. I don't know. I'm torn because obviously I want to. What's going to happen is I'm going to forget about this in 30 minutes and just start smoking, and then it'll just happen. But
yeah, are we allowed to catch you on camera smoking?
Yeah. Well, that's my thing too.
It's
like
if catching a leprechaun.
Yeah, exactly. No, my main thing is like, if you want to smoke with me, come to one of my stand-up shows. I'll smoke with you after. That's the thing. I'm more than happy to smoke weed, and I love smoking weed. I just don't do it on the internet because I'm trying to get my content out there and like trying to make people laugh, and it's hard to do that if you're shadow banned.
It's very difficult, and it's a very real thing, but I think it's so cool that you've been able to grow, and not just like grow an account, but grow a community where you can have fun and people know that you're into weed and that you are, a proponent of that. But it also helps with like the destigmatization of it. Yeah. Because it's so much more relatable. Anyone can go and see something that you've like stitched or done a duet with. And it's like not you just getting high, but it's the personality. It's like the relatability.
It's just fun. Also, I don't know if you care, but one of your straps from your drawstrings is around your throat.
Oh.
And so one's hanging down and one's around your throat. I mean,
this is a very serious podcast.
I know it is a very serious podcast.
It's very serious.
I don't know if you care. I just was like, how sometimes if you have something in your teeth or something, you're like, I wish someone had told me.
Sure.
I wish someone had told me. So I didn't want to get to the end of the podcast and then you'd be like, I wish you told me that
there's just like shit all over
I wish
my
you
face.
had told me.
Like all this strap is like
uneven.
across. Yeah, no, I feel that.
But
I appreciate appreciate that.
Yeah, for sure. Totally fucked up the flow, but thank you. Trying to create a community of like, you know, just positivity and fun. And it is definitely a joke. It is definitely a heightened thing. But yeah, I've run face first into what your article was about, which was the gatekeeping in the weed community.
Yeah.
I've definitely run into that. And that's something I try to preach is like, obviously the Stoney character is like baked to a 10 24/7. And I wish it was possible for me to live that way. I like to call Stoney like the highest version of myself.
Yeah.
Like he's nice at all times. He doesn't really get too mad. He does sometimes, but it's like, you know, he's nice to everybody. And he's so baked at all times. I am a fan of figuring out, like, getting really specific with your preferred dosages and like strains and like being a little bit of a nerd about like
totally
what kind of weed you like, how much you want to smoke, and then finding a way to incorporate cannabis into your life in a way that it is always benefiting you and never a detriment to you.
Oh my God, yes, absolutely. You're on the right podcast. I nerd out about weed all the time. Okay, before we dive deeper into these flowers, I'm curious, who are you sending flowers to?
I'm sending flowers to Leonard Smith Jr. and Ray Lau. Leonard Smith Jr. is my roommate and comedic partner, and Ray Lau is also our comedic partner. We're going on tour together. We have a show next Friday together. So yeah, two of my creative partners, producing partners. I want to send them flowers and make sure that they're having. Nice. Go follow them. They're very funny. Leonard Smith Jr., Ray Lau, super funny stand-up comedians.
Amazing.
And great friends.
We're sending you all flowers.
Boom.
And so you're going on tour.
We're going on tour. Yeah, the We Quit Our Jobs tour.
Did you guys actually quit your jobs?
Leonard did quit his job.
Really?
He booked a Super Bowl commercial and quit his job.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Congratulations to him.
Yeah. He's awesome. He's super funny. He quit his job. Ray has not quit his job and wants to be very clear that he has not quit his job, and he went along with it for branding.
He's like, he's employed.
He's very much employed.
I have a W-2. I will show you all.
Yeah.
Okay.
Amazing. And then I am in the middle. I've been catering for a while.
Yeah.
And I still cater sometimes. It's become more difficult to cater with like having stand-up shows on the weekends and on those dates and going out of town and doing different stuff. So I will still be taking catering shifts. So I have not officially like quit a job either, but we liked the branding. We thought it was fun. And you know, we gotta be good at this comedy. So when you come to these shows, you're gonna be getting people who have nothing else. That's the energy we're bringing to it. It's like, this is what we're doing. This is what we're focusing on. This is what we're passionate about. And we're gonna put on a show like it's our job, because it is.
Because it is.
Yeah.
I love that. Yeah. And so you've been on tour before?
No, this will be my first time.
One.
I've done shows outside of LA.
Yeah.
I've done shows in Denver, San Diego, if that counts.
That counts.
Yeah, it's out of town.
Yeah.
It's a couple hours south.
Yeah. It's basically another state if you're on the East Coast.
True. Yeah. So, but this is our first time, like, I've performed in Seattle also, but this is our first time chaining together multiple places and like just getting a car with your friends and just driving between each spot.
That's so cool.
Yeah, we're flying up to Vancouver, and then we're going to drive from Vancouver to Seattle, Portland, Truckee, and then Oakland, and then back. So basically kind of like a little West Coast.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice. And so are there any places that you're excited to see, like their weed scene?
Vancouver for sure.
Yeah?
Yeah, Vancouver, just Canadian weed in general. I've smoked a little bit of it in Toronto.
Because you go up to Canada, right?
I go up to Canada, yeah. My mom remarried, not Canadian, but my mom remarried, and which is why
Canadian
I'm not
by
nice.
choice.
Yeah, but I'm not nice enough to be Canadian. But yeah, my mom remarried, so I have a Canadian stepdad and stepsister and a whole extended family up in Canada.
Nice.
And I go see them for Christmas. And my youngest brother lives up there. Andy Slaps on Twitch. He's a Twitch streamer. He lives up there, and so I go see them for Christmas. So I'm in Canada, in Toronto, like what a week, maybe a little more every year.
Yeah. So you literally have a second family in Canada.
I do.
That's amazing.
I have a second family in Canada. It's awesome. I can just zip up there.
Okay, very cool. Does your family know that you smoke?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but they're very supportive of my. Actually, my mom's like really supportive of my comedy, which is great.
Have you guys smoked together?
No, we have not smoked together. No.
Would you want
not
to?
Yet. Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe. I also just don't want her to have a bad time. And I know my little brother has like experimented, like giving my mom some edibles and stuff. And like, I think she's liked it. But it can be, if you're not ready for it and if you haven't done it for so long, like I'd be open to doing it for sure. Yeah. But I don't want her to have a bad day. And sometimes your first couple times getting high can be like aggressive, depending.
Oh, for sure. Did you have a bad first time?
No, I had a great first time.
Okay.
My first time was incredible. The bad times came later. My first time was great. Yeah.
The bad times did come later. It
happens, man. Sometimes and that's why, like I said, I'm a proponent of, you had in your article, you talked about people saying like, oh, you take like, a baby lungs, like you smoke like a girl or whatever pejoratives people had. It's like, you're trying to smoke to please yourself.
Yeah.
You're not trying to smoke to please other people.
Yeah. So what is your like preferred way to smoke?
I love joints.
Yeah.
I love joints. I love, so for me, joints are fire because it's like you and the other person you're smoking with get high kind of at a similar rate. And so your conversation and your high like blend together. Yeah. And it's a very good way to ease into a social situation and get to know someone. Totally. Like we're doing now. Like we're smoking and we're kind of like, keeping pace. And it's like, it's a great, it's my favorite way to like smoke socially or smoke with strangers. Because bongs are bongs are like my favorite utility high, where it's like you have a little bit of weed and you want it to go a long way. Absolutely. Hit a bong,
Yeah.
But, yeah, this is my favorite way. I'm a huge fan of like backwoods, the legit ones. The one that little bit of tobacco, or a little bit of nicotine, a little bit of tobacco. It's a great buzz.
Yeah.
I love a King Palm.
Ooh, yes, absolutely.
It's like kind of cigar adjacent. So but yeah, basically joints is like my preferred, especially socially, way to smoke.
Okay. Yeah. So have you ever had like a weed hangover before?
No.
I've
woken up still high from edibles.
Okay. Yeah.
But I've never had like a weed hangover where I felt like you feel bad. Does this happen to you?
You don't feel bad, but like you're just kind of really dehydrated. I guess you are still a little stoned, but like in a way that's like, I could go back to sleep.
I feel like that's just most mornings.
Yeah, maybe that's just most mornings
for me.
Yeah.
Until I've had caffeine, I'm like, I don't even know, dude. I don't know if I want to do anything right now.
Yeah, because in past podcasts, I've heard that you may or may not be drinking.
Yes.
So
I stopped drinking.
Okay, fully.
I stopped drinking fully. What is it, like October 8th? So I don't know, 4 or 5 months or something like that.
Okay.
I stopped drinking completely. And I got really into coffee and sparkling water. Right. Because I'm drinking 6 of something tonight. Yeah. And it's just going to be sparkling water. It's Olipop's fantastic.
I know you mentioned that you love having 6 drinks.
Yeah.
And it's like an alcohol thing.
It's an alcohol thing. Yeah. It's kind of an exaggeration, but I do have a Soda Stream. My girlfriend got me a Soda Stream for Christmas, and it's the best. I drink it every night. I make one of like the liters or whatever.
Yep.
Every night. Because I love it. I love that sparkling sensation. It's like relaxing.
I'm a big fan of sparkling water. I think that it's amazing. I also don't drink anymore.
Oh, right on. How long?
3 years.
Oh, let's go. Congrats.
I stopped at the beginning of the pandemic.
Oh, wow.
Well, like I stopped January 2020.
Yeah.
Because I was like, this just isn't really serving me. So funny. And then I was like, okay, I did January, and then February came along. I was like, let's just do another month.
Just keep going.
Yeah, I was like, I don't miss it right now.
This probably won't be one of the most traumatic and stressful years in recent history.
Right? So then March comes around. And I was like, I'll just keep going. Yeah. And then they were like, stay inside.
Stay
and I was
inside.
like, wait, what?
And everything's closed except liquor stores.
And dispensaries.
Grocery stores, dispensaries, yeah.
No, I smoked so much fucking weed.
Yeah.
Oh my God. And made so many edibles.
Oh, nice. Yeah. You got into the baking game.
So everyone got into baking.
Yes, for sure.
I got very into baking.
Nice.
Like baked baking.
Yeah.
Where really it was just making
stoned sourdough.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like I was like, okay, let's do that, but like the high version of it.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, okay. So why did you decide to stop drinking, if you don't mind me asking?
It was the same thing. Or not the same thing. You didn't actually give a reason. You just said when.
Well,
why did you stop drinking?
So 2 reasons.
Yeah.
One, I have health stuff. So I have endometriosis, and basically it's an inflammatory disorder, among other things. But my body would just become so inflamed.
Yeah.
And so like for, when I would have like an actual hangover or whatever, like I would just feel so terrible. And I'd be in pain for like days. So anytime I drink, it was just like the after would just be so awful. And then also I didn't have a good relationship with it. Like I do think I was relying on it for like treating like both physical and mental pain.
Yeah.
And so I just didn't, I was like, you know what, this just isn't really helping me in any way at all.
Did you like to drink alone a lot?
I don't think I ever really got to a point that I was drinking alone. I might have like a glass. I'd have like a glass of wine.
Sure, no, yeah. That's
but,
not.
like,
Yeah.
I wasn't like
that's healthy drinking alone.
I wasn't like ripping shots by myself.
Yeah.
But I would make excuses to be out.
Sure.
To be around people because it was like, okay, if I'm socially getting completely blacked out, that's totally acceptable. Which honestly, if it was the other way around, it probably would have been safer.
Yeah, it's definitely safer to black out alone than in public. You can your odds of accidentally killing someone by yourself at home blacked out are a lot lower.
Yeah, I'm kind of looking back on that, like,
or getting kidnapped, or I don't know. There's a lot of crazy stuff.
There are some moments.
As a dude, I went straight to murder. I was like, I could murder somebody. I'm a liability.
I'm like, can I invite on the podcast? Is this season 5 of You yet?
Yeah, literally. I went so dark. And that's why I stopped drinking. No, I didn't have like a crazy, crazy rock bottom.
Oh, no.
No, I didn't. The worst thing I did was I robbed a Thanksgiving party once. Just the host, not the whole party, not everybody, just the host. And it was just like $25. And then we went to a strip club, and the strippers don't work on Thanksgiving. Anyways,
wait. It
was like a bad night. It was a bad night. It was a bad night. So we go to this Thanksgiving party, and first of all, I'll say this publicly. I thought that pretty much everybody at the party was pretty boring. And I think it's kind of
fair enough.
It's a little on them that I had to drink like a lot of vodka Red Bulls, which is a chaotic drink. There's chaotic energy in a vodka Red Bull.
It's because
you're inviting it into you. You're inviting that chaos into your life.
I'm really actually kind of in agreement with you so far. So continue. Maybe they deserve to be robbed.
I would say
continue. I'm getting ahead of myself.
Yeah, I would say no, they didn't. But what happened was people were talking about going to a strip club, and I didn't have a ton of money, and I definitely had no cash on me. And I saw a purse in the middle of the kitchen table, and I was like, I wonder if I could take money out of this purse because we're all standing around it without anyone noticing.
Right.
Sort of like a drunk David Blaine. Like I'm looking to do some sleight of hand, and I did it successfully, and no one noticed. I went to the strip club. And then we went to the strip club, and I just really had to pee. So I go into the strip club without paying the cover, which is, they hate that. And also there was no strippers working, but I go pee, I come out of the bathroom, I feel the strongest, biggest hand I've ever felt on my shoulder just grabs me, and they like pull me outside and like, you didn't pay the cover, you have to pay the cover right now. It was like $20. So we paid the cover, and then they're like, yeah, the strippers aren't even working. So I paid $20 and then went home. And then I wanted to go to the gym because I worked at 24 Hour Fitness. And so I like stormed out of my apartment at like 2-3 in the morning to try to go to the gym. It was closed. And then my roommates had to chase me around North Hollywood because they were worried about me. And then I wake up, and then my roommate's like, did you steal from that party last night? And I was like, no. And then like 2 hours later, I was like, yeah, I definitely did. And so I wrote her an apology note, and I gave her the money I stole back, plus I think a couple extra dollars. And she never gave me back my sweet potato casserole pan. So who's the real thief?
What?
Yeah.
That's so rude. How are you supposed to make casseroles now?
Yeah, I don't know. I got to use the disposable ones.
Yeah, you could have made her an apology casserole.
I could have. I made a solid sweet potato casserole. The only good thing I did at that party was the sweet potato casserole. So that was like the worst time, but it was a lot of just like ups and downs mentally. Right. Hangovers were getting bad. And so I did it in a lot of stages. It took me, I really did my due diligence because I didn't want to quit. Yeah. So I actually also was like, all right, 2020, I'm not drinking. Yeah. So I stopped and then missed out on the greatest drinking year of all time. But for me, it would have ruined my relationship. It would have ruined probably my life somehow. I don't know. Yeah. It would have been dark. Just all that time to think and drink. And then I fell into this pattern where I would drink. I would go out and have a couple drinks with friends, and then go out, have a couple drinks with friends, and then have a couple drinks at home, and then a couple drinks at home. And then I was just drinking like a 6-pack alone in my room. For sure. And that was like, all right, that's kind of unhealthy. Yeah. And it just got to a point where I was like, I don't want anything to stand in the way of being able to be successful. I don't want anything holding me back. This isn't serving me. And then I tried a rule where I only drink when I leave Los Angeles. I go out of town. If you're making hella rules, you have a problem. I
heard you mention that.
Yeah. So that's what I had. And then that was fine. And that worked. But then I got back to Los Angeles and I didn't have another date where I was leaving. Yeah. And so I was just like, I have to get hammered. And so then I got hammered. And then I was like, this is it. This is the last night I'm ever drinking. It was October 8th. And then, now I'm happy. I'm happy that I don't have to worry about getting hammered and saying something that like, honestly gets me canceled or like, just that I don't mean. Like saying something drunk publicly would be really bad. Saying something drunk privately can also be horrible. Like, so just in general, because when you get drunk, you like, for me at least, like a lot of anger comes up, a lot of like darkness comes up, and I can be really shitty to people. Yeah. And the worst part is I'll be trying to be funny, but it'll be like just like really sardonic or like cutting, and it's just like kind of an asshole side of myself that I don't love. That's best to keep under control.
For sure. No, I was a feral child when I would get drunk. Yeah. Like I would be, the person who runs away.
Yeah, I'm kind of in that same world too. Yeah, I have those tendencies. Yeah.
Just like feral shit. Yeah. Where you're just like, you want to go try and swing from the construction rafts in New York City like monkeys. Let's do that because it's a great idea. Like just dumb stuff. And so
it sucks always being the liability in the friend group.
I know. I was totally the friend group liability. Yeah. And so you know what? Actually, the third reason, like to be honest, of why I stopped drinking is because of also my relationship with my boyfriend. Yeah. And like when that started to get more serious, I was still drinking a little bit, but I did, oh my God, I had the most embarrassing night. I got way too drunk. Like we had just started dating.
Oh shit.
And I was like, he's never gonna talk to me again.
When it's like every date matters, it's like there's the first like 10 dates of a relationship is a deal breaker can pop up during any of those.
There should have been the
surface level deal breakers can pop. Oh, it should have been a deal breaker? It was that bad? It happens, man. And that's scary. That's dicey. But you pushed through? What date was it that you had your embarrassing moment?
Oh my God. I don't know. I don't know what number it was. We went to high school together, so we did know each other previously, but we had never dated before. Yeah. But so luckily I at least though had like the backstory. I was like, I'm not, like,
you got context.
I was like, I'm not always crazy. Yeah. Just sometimes. And so basically got way too drunk. He had to sleep on the couch, among other things, because I was snoring so loud and was just like,
does that only happen when you drink?
Out. I do snore sometimes and I'll like talk in my sleep and stuff, but especially if I drink, it's like a 40-year-old 200-pound man is like in the other room and
snoring like a walrus.
Yeah, so he had to sleep on the couch, and then when we woke up the next morning, we ordered food, and I had this like giant sandwich with like, I don't know, a pound of lettuce on it, and I still don't know how I did it, but I spilled the entire thing. Ugh. There was just like lettuce like littered across the floor, and I'm just like looking at him like, he's going to kick me out. He's just going to ask me to get the fuck out of his house.
You're spilling lettuce everywhere.
But we're still dating.
Your sandwich management is terrible.
It was terrible. And so, that was kind of also a wake up call of like, hey, like you're not actually in a bad relationship and maybe you should work a little bit harder to keep this one. So now we live together.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Congrats. How long have you been together total?
5 years.
Tight. That's
yeah.
Awesome.
So
that's awesome.
It's been good. I'm glad he stuck with me through that.
Yeah. I know. Well, it was the hardest on my girlfriend too, because I would drink, like we would be together, it'd be just the two of us. And I would drink like 6 drinks and she would be sober. And then so that's like annoying. Mm-hmm. She drinks responsibly. Like she'll drink occasionally. Occasionally she'll have a drink.
Yeah.
Very responsible. And so it's unfair to have a partner that's like just getting drunk like way too often and being awkward. So yeah, it was time to address it. And that's the thing with weed is weed does not affect my relationship in a negative way. Mm-hmm. If anything, it makes me better because I'll get high and get paranoid. I'm like, am I a good enough boyfriend?
Good.
Like, am I doing a good enough job? You know what I mean? I'll overthink it. I'll be like, all right, what the fuck am I forgetting? What event do we have that I didn't put in my calendar?
You know what? I mean? Every guy out there should smoke weed just for this reason.
Yeah, you check in. You check in.
Yes.
And I listen. I'll just sit and be like, yeah, and like listen.
Yeah.
You know, like it's.
You're like, I really positive. Hear you.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. I have one of those great relationships where it's like. I genuinely am not like always worried about her being mad at me. Like, that's genuinely not something I spend a lot of time worrying about.
Just if you're a good boyfriend and being attentive enough.
Yeah,
that's the main concern.
I just want to make sure I'm pulling my weight in this relationship and that it's positive. And then, so that's a big reason why I stopped drinking also was because she was like, look, this is just creating... Well, she wasn't even that forceful. She was like, I think this is something you should talk to somebody about.
Yeah.
You should get a therapist. You should talk to somebody about this. This seems like it's being a problem. And sometimes it's annoying, So,
yeah.
But she was gentle and she wasn't forceful and she didn't like throw down some crazy ultimatum. It was just more of like, this is an area of concern. You know? Let's check into this. Yeah.
I love that. I think that's really respectful from your end to even check in and have the capacity to do that, because I think a lot of people, especially after the pandemic, are working on their relationship with drugs, alcohol, food, whatever, their coping mechanism was during that time. And so, I mean, I smoked a fuckload of weed.
Yeah.
And like, my boyfriend, he doesn't drink a lot either. And so just having that balance, it created more balance, I feel like, in the relationship instead of like a one-sidedness of what did I say last night? Or like, did I do something embarrassing? Or like, did I, say something hurtful or something that could have come off a certain way? And so like, I don't know. I feel like I can be my whole self and more present.
Yeah, no, 100%. It's great. It's great. It has been challenging. And there was some like real dark times that came like 3 months. I don't know if you experienced this also. Like 3 months after, which was not too long ago, like last month, shit got like really dark for me mentally.
Yeah.
And I was talking to my therapist about it and she was like, oh, that kind of makes sense because alcohol helps regulate your dopamine.
Yeah.
And so your body's like figuring out new, I don't know, pathways or whatever. Like that, she's like, that could really explain the dip in mental health because I didn't know that alcohol helps regulate our dopamine.
Yeah.
Which becomes a bad thing, I guess. I think it's why I started drinking. Like I started drinking because I've got issues and trauma, and I look like this, but I had some shit happen to me. I know it doesn't. Most guys that look like this, I don't know if they've had shit happen to them, but
that's so funny.
Obviously I'm still crazy privileged, but I have trauma, and it causes you, to find ways to deal with it, to function. So she was saying that. Helps regulate dopamine, and she's like, oh, that makes sense. So you felt down. I was like, oh, all right, cool. That was helpful. So it's hard. It's hard to stop drinking. It's definitely not easy. No. But the benefits just far outweigh.
So much.
Yeah.
And so for me, I don't know what time period it was around, but there was a lot of repression that I didn't even realize I had been doing. And it was hard for me because it did happen during like a time of greater isolation.
Yeah.
And so like it took me a while to even realize what was going on because I don't think I had the right tools to like work through that.
Yeah.
And I was just like calling my brothers like, oh my God, remember when this would happen? And they're like, I'm the oldest sister.
Oh, right on. Yeah, I'm the oldest brother as well.
Oh, nice.
That oldest child thing.
Yeah. And so, you know, for a while, I wouldn't even talk to them about that stuff. And if it was a very like role reversed way. And I'd be like, damn, like that was kind of crazy.
Yeah.
And they'd be like, yeah, we knew that. Like we knew that was crazy.
It's crazy. I mean, I think sometimes as the oldest sibling, you gotta like shut down a little bit to kind of like keep things, you feel this obligation to help keep things together. And so I think you can shut down and find a way to cope and like, totally not realize the full gravity of how bad something is.
Yeah. And
until you unpack it later.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so releasing myself from alcohol inadvertently was also a release of like a lot of stuff. And I was just like, okay, I didn't know we were...
Yeah.
I didn't know we were that deep in, but okay.
Yeah, yeah. It's crazy because you're just not numbing that anymore at all. And it's just raw. And you just have to like, you got to deal with it. You got to work on it.
Dude, so why did you want to become a comedian? What led you to this life? Sorry, that was kind of like...
No, great.
But, you know, if you're dealing with...
I was like, we're talking about alcohol a lot for a weed podcast right now.
I know, but I'm sorry. I like
it's
total
good.
tangent.
It's good.
But
no,
I mean, it's a huge reason why I smoke weed.
Yeah.
And it's helped me in so many ways. And stopping alcohol was like a huge part of that. And so like... You know, with comedy, I know a lot of people who go into comedy ultimately have dealt with like a lot of
for the most part
trauma or have dealt with something in their life that like they needed to cope because something I've also heard you talk about is like this comedic relief from life.
Yeah, yeah.
And that we all need that.
It's huge. Yeah. That I moved out here to be an actor, so acting was always kind of something I wanted to do. Entertaining people was something I wanted to do. And it started out like pretty serious, dramatic, actor-y type stuff. And then right before the pandemic hit, I was working my way through Groundlings. It's like the character and sketch. Will Ferrell went there, Kristen Wiig. Basically the people that are like the best at playing like big, goofy characters all went to that school. So I was there and I was like really getting into it. And then the pandemic hit. And acting like just ground to a halt. And then my girlfriend, Casey Spivey, started doing stand-up. Yeah. And my roommate, Leonard Smith Jr., was doing stand-up also. And I had the Groundlings thing. So I was like, let me try stand-up. So I started, going to open mics. So cool. And that was the hardcore switch. And then I fell in love with it. And that was a hardcore switch for me where I was like, I'll do acting, at some point. I'm sure it'll come back into my life. And I guess technically with Stoney, I'm acting quite a bit. Yeah. But I was like, it's comedy. Comedy's the thing. I have no interest in doing dramatic work I don't know. I don't know if the world needs dramatic movies anymore. We're kind of going through a weird time where it's kind of like, I don't know if we need these movies. I don't know if we need most of the movies that were nominated for Oscars. I don't know. I'm sorry. I don't know if they're contributing to society in the same way.
I totally feel you.
I don't know. I've got like kind of a weird pet theory that like our media landscape is changing so much. Our entertainment landscape is changing so much. And it used to be like TV. First it started with movies were like major pop culture stuff. Yeah. Comedians were major pop culture stuff. Yeah. TV was major pop culture stuff. And they were like the front lines. Now we have social media, which is the front lines of, the boots on the ground comedy, your daily comedy. And it's pushed kind of movies and TV are kind of becoming more of like in the world of a Broadway. Yeah. Where they exist as, I guess, like a legacy entertainment and people with high skill and high craft do participate in those things. And every now and then a Broadway show will crack, the zeitgeist, like a Hamilton or something, but it's less and less. And I think movies are kind of moving in that direction a little bit. Absolutely. It's slow. It's a slow burn. and things aren't going to change because there's still so much money and infrastructure behind it.
Totally.
And I think movies are incredible, and I love watching them and would love to make them. It's just interesting to watch their place in the culture and the zeitgeist move as new forms of entertainment come up.
I totally agree.
And I don't think it's necessarily good or bad. I think it's happening, and it's interesting to see, like, you know, I think there are some people that are impacted by Oscar movies that watch them and are impacted by them. I think it's a little bit of preaching to the choir. And I think if you really want to make people's lives better, there are, you know, different social media is one place where you can really make people's lives better on a day-to-day basis.
Yeah.
So with Stoney, I've really tried to curate a place that is, and with my stand-up on stage also, I try to curate a type of comedy that's just like fun, interesting, that's usually focused on me, and I don't really tackle political issues or like social issues because there's so many other people that are more qualified, and it's oversaturated. And I know that 90% of your news feed is people reinforcing what you already believe or things that are making you angry or sad. And so when you see a Stoney video, it's supposed to just be dumb fun. So to all the people that comment, this is stupid, you're right. And that's the point. To everyone that's like, this is so dumb. Yeah, that's it. You nailed it. Cause it is, man. And that's the fun of it, is you watch something and you're like, that was ridiculous. That was absurd. Like, you know, it's supposed to be fun, and it's supposed to be just make you laugh and break up the politics and break up so the most political I've gotten is when Vail Resorts wasn't paying the people enough money. Yeah. I made a video about that. Yeah. But for the most part, I try to keep it apolitical because, and like try not to deal with too many issues that we're facing in this world, because there are, just people that are better qualified. For sure. And I want, when you interact with my stuff, I want you to be able to take a little break, 15, 30, a minute, an hour if you're watching a podcast, or, you know, if I'm doing something longer form.
Long form content.
Yeah, that's the goal. The goal of my comedy is to make people feel good, have fun, and just think about how ridiculous I am, and not think about the problems that they're facing at home, or
that's amazing.
Whatever it is.
Yeah, I think that's such a cool ultimate vision.
Yeah,
because you can attach that to anything you do. You know, you have such a brilliant message. And so, like, whether you're doing that through, you know, Stoney McBlaze or your comedy or another thing you take on in the future, like, you can always just kind of, like, package that into anything that you do. Yeah. And I do think your page does transcend because, like, you don't necessarily need to be a stoner to watch your content.
No, I don't think so.
Like, at all.
But it helps. And it's always my favorite. It's my favorite when people come up to me and they're like, oh, I watch your stuff, and it came up when I was so stoned. Yeah. And I was like, that's the best. Like, that's what... When I find out that I'm making people that are high laugh, I'm like, perfect. Because especially, you know, I don't know, there's people like me out there who, like, when we get high, stuff hits us harder. Like, it's harder to watch a video of the police shooting an innocent person when you're stoned. Like, it makes it hit so much harder. And so if I can be, you know, a safe haven of, like, you get stoned, you watch my stuff, you see my stuff, and it just brightens you like fire. Although my stand-up comedy is definitely darker, and it definitely skews in a somewhat, not darker, but it's getting darker. I'm trying to learn how to tell darker stuff that's happened to me in a funnier way on stage, which is incredibly challenging, and I may never figure out. But my stand-up is definitely a little more it's not edgy. I don't know what it is. It's a little less just like goofy stoner. There's a little more, you know, I just talk about my life, and I talk about stuff that's happened to me, and I talk about, you know, things like that. So it's nice because you get to have different comedic outlets. Like, Stoney is like one way that I express myself, and it's cool to have another way on stage.
It's like stoner Hannah Montana.
Yeah, exactly. 100%.
You can get like a little wig and stuff.
Yes, exactly.
That would be amazing.
When I do live shows, a lot of times I'll host in character as Stoney.
Yeah.
And then when it comes time for my set, I just take off the beanie and put on a snapback.
Oh my God.
And then just turn around slowly.
You get
and I'm
the
like, yeah,
best
exactly.
of both worlds. Yeah.
And that's what we're working on.
Okay,
Yeah. The best of
amazing.
both worlds, for sure.
I love this.
Yeah.
And so your girlfriend also helped kind of like stimulate the character.
Oh, no,
right?
she's the only reason that Stoney is successful.
Okay, that's so dope.
She's the only reason, because she, I had one video do well, and then she was like, she just knew more about social media because she'd worked in the space before. So she was like, what you do is 3 videos a day and you don't do any of your other little jokes. You just focus on this. You just focus on this one thing. Don't do other stuff. Don't don't have it be a bunch of random things. And so she helped me focus and gave me the vision.
Oh my God.
She gave me the vision and the tools and to be consistent. And so yeah, I followed her advice. And so she's the reason it's successful. She's
Very
also
smart.
the one that's really pushed me to find a happy medium in the stoner content of like not being too stonery, which or like obviously smoking weed all the time.
Yeah.
And I think that's overall been a good move. And yeah, because it's nice to be able to post and like have people see it as opposed to being, this real specific type of audience of being shadow banned or whatever it is, age restricted, things like that,
all shit. It's so frustrating.
Yeah.
Huh. Well,
it's been fun. But yeah,
nice.
I would not be successful without her, which was played into the part of like, I want this, I love this relationship. This is great. And I want to keep it great and not be the one to sabotage it. Or not even necessarily me specifically, my interactions with alcohol sabotaging it, So that was a big part of the not drinking too. It's like, I just want this to be
very dope.
Good. Yeah.
Damn. Okay. We love her. She's smart.
Oh, she's really, really smart.
That's so brilliant.
She's really smart. She's definitely brilliant. And that's the thing about a good relationship is so much better than being single. A bad relationship, being single, is definitely the move, but a good relationship is like, it's insane, especially when you have someone that you can like actively partner with on all your stuff. And like, I don't understand when people date outside of whatever industry they're in, because I can't imagine not being able to like express what I'm going through or, have the full conversation. Like, because we're both doing stand-up and we've both been doing acting, we just have the full conversation. So when we talk about what we're feeling, we understand all of it. We don't have to, sometimes the first part of an explanation with somebody who doesn't do the same thing as you is you have to justify why you're even doing it. And that's exhausting.
Yeah.
So it's nice to have that part gone completely.
Yeah, absolutely. I totally understand where you're coming from.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you do the same thing as your boyfriend?
Yeah, he's very creative.
Nice.
And he actually, like, hearing your story is very relatable. But before we get on too much of a tangent, I want to bring the spotlight back to you and see what's in your bag. Then we don't have to take up too much of your time because this has been an awesome conversation.
Yeah, I'm chilling. Great. Let's see what's in my bag.
Yeah. What do we have? The official Stoney McBlaze bag.
Yeah, my purse.
The purse. We love a man purse.
We go for these. I don't even think. Yeah, this is a man purse. So first things first, we have a joke book that I don't really write in very much, but there's been 3 or 4 times where I wanted to use my phone to film myself and I wanted to have notes, so I keep it just in case. I've got this portable ashtray that I love. Thing. It's a little portable ashtray, and I'm not sponsored, but they sent me a bunch of sweet gifts, so I love it, and it's great.
We love gifts.
Yeah, it's literally just like you can smoke wherever you are, and you've got a reliable place, so you don't have to worry about like ashing on the ground.
Yeah.
Or you can throw the roach in here. You don't have to like worry about littering or finding a trash can.
Yeah.
Or so I am a big fan. Portable ashtray. What else? Oh, we have gum. This is like too big of a pack. So I kind of just threw it in symbolically because this does live in my car more than usual. Usually it's in my car. Usually it's not in my bag. And usually I'd have a smaller one. But symbolically, it's always nice to have gum. I got this joint holder. This is where there's one joint. There's one joint and it's Cheech and Chong smoked this. And so I put the Cheech and Chong joint in my joint holder for good vibes. Yeah, they shared it on screen. So this is usually filled with joints, but I knew you had joints, so I didn't bring anything. Oops. Not here, not matching. We got this pen that I totally forgot I had that I found this morning.
Nice.
That I bought in Colorado, which I was so stoked. I was stoked about that. And then I've got this. A follower gave me this recently. I should have used it earlier, but I forgot I had it. It's like a lighter shaped hemp wig holder. Shout out Samson Glass on Instagram. He made it and sent it to me.
This is so cool.
So instead of just having the big thing of yarn,
that's so perfect.
A little hemp rope thing, and then papers, filters. Lip balm.
Need it.
Because they get dry.
Oh my God.
And usually eye drops, but also I can never find my eye drops, so they're lost again.
Do your eyes get red?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. And next day, usually I'll wake up and my eyes are bloodshot if I smoked the night before.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, you're gonna have
your eyes don't get red?
No.
What a superpower!
They never get red.
Oh my God, mine get red so fast.
They get really closed, but never red. I don't know what it is.
Good for you, man. That's
I know.
awesome.
I think it's I think there's something wrong with me, to be honest. I don't think it's a superpower.
Oh, I think it's good.
I think eventually someone's gonna be like, I think she has a kidney problem or something.
People. Speaking of people online, people love to tell you what's wrong with you physically online. Somebody told me, he's like, hey, bro, those bags under your eyes are because you're eating meat. You gotta stop. You have a gland problem because of meat. That's why you have bags under your eyes. And it's no, it's because I was born like this. I was born. I look like a raccoon. I understand that, but I just have bags under my eyes. I'm sorry, but it's not my diet. I don't think.
I actually feel really good that you get mean people.
Oh my God. Dude, I get mean people. Oh my God. I get so much. It's hilarious. Most of it makes me laugh. Also, most of it hurts my feelings. I'm sensitive. I want to be liked. I want everyone to like me. So if you leave a mean comment, it works. It hurts me. Sometimes I can come up with funny replies, and that's one of the things about Stoney is he's never going to be mean to a hater.
Right.
I've literally only ever blocked one person, and it was because he would comment something mean once a week for a month. I was like,
wow.
Bro, this is crazy. I can't deal with this.
Did they have an alarm set?
Yeah, he was planning it. He was planning it out. And the craziest part too is it was bad vibes from a dude who's a rapper, obviously up and coming rapper. And I was like, it's crazy to be a creative and then go out and shit on other people's creativity public. We all do it privately. None of us are.
It was not a private troll. It was a person.
It was a person. It was a legit person.
That you would could see somewhere.
I don't think you're going to see this guy on tour anytime soon. I'm sorry, but the amount of bad vibes he's putting out is going to hold him back.
Sorry, I didn't mean to laugh that hard.
He's a SoundCloud, low-key SoundCloud, whatever. Point is, I blocked him, but people, I've gotten, I wouldn't say they're legitimate because I don't ever believe they're real, but I've had people say that I should be killed. I've had a legit, not legit, I've never been afraid, but because when a person with 63 followers, you're I don't know if this is real or a bot.
Yeah.
Someone just posting I hope this guy ends up, one guy said, I hope this guy ends up drowned and beheaded. And I was like, that's crazy. So did I die from the drowning or did you cut my head off and then throw me in the water? I was curious about how that death would look, but I was like, that's such an aggressive thing to say and probably illegal to say. And I know it's bad because I posted a reel joking about it, being look at the haters. And then that reel got taken down because his comment that I was responding to. So no, I get legit haters. And it's only when a video does well for the most part.
For sure.
Once I start seeing the hate comments pop up, I'm like, oh, I think we hit the algorithm, got us.
Well, they say when you have
people are
haters,
mad.
that's when you know you're a success. So if
Yeah.
someone wants you beheaded and
Yeah.
drowned, like dual
Both.
death,
That's crazy. Yeah.
you're making it.
For a character, for a joke, then I'm not even attacking anyone. Like I don't attack
That's the
people. It's
wild
like
part.
it's pretty, but you know, people just like to put stuff down.
Yeah.
And they can because they have a voice and they can do it. And yeah. But if you
Wow.
do it, just know. Well, you're not watching this. If you don't like me, you're not watching this.
They might be though.
I guess. Well, hey, if you're
mean-
watching this and you don't like me, you've hurt my feelings for sure. I get them hurt. I'm sensitive. I'm a sensitive guy. I want people to like me. I want it to be fun and funny. So yeah, I'm not above being hurt by comments.
Yeah.
for sure.
What would you say is the meanest thing someone said to you?
Oh, the single most I've ever had. My feelings hurt was somebody who I assume is 13 to 15 years old on TikTok because her account was just 100% fan edits of Harry Styles and then one video about how much I suck. And this was like a couple years ago, but she just hit all the things. She was like, it's not funny. Only old people think you're funny. It's annoying. It's dumb. Like she hit all of them, like every like insecurity that like you could have about something. She nailed it and just wrote it all out and like listed it all out and put it on a TikTok, like duetting my TikTok.
In a fun font too, I bet.
Yeah, it was real pretty. And I was like, damn, this hurts. Cause she hit, but that's the thing is they'll figure out that insecurity and not even figure it out. It's like, I have insecurities. And whenever someone puts your insecurity in writing, it feels like they're right. And they probably aren't right. Sometimes they probably are, but sometimes, like when people say I'm trying too hard, you're right. I am trying too hard. I don't know how else to be funny except to try hard I'm trying hard to make you laugh. Yeah, I'm putting effort in. I'm trying hard to be positive and like fun and like, yeah, I think you should. I think as a creative, you should try hard. Like you should try to, do your best, make people laugh.
I think that is a fantastic mission, and maybe the challenge is then to get them to laugh. Because I feel like that's the cure, is like they just need like more of the medicine.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
And you can like keep just like chipping away at it.
It's also a big goofy character, and people that's not everybody's sense of humor. Everybody's sense of humor is not big goofy characters. So
it's subjective.
I understand why people don't think it's funny. There's plenty of stuff out there that is successful that I don't think is funny also. And it's just because it doesn't hit there are a lot of times where I recognize someone's craft and ability and I'm like, but it's not for me type of thing. I understand that, but I also don't leave but I used to. And that's the thing though. I have one time on an old Twitter account, I tweeted at a director of a movie and was like, hey, your movie sucked. And then what got me was he replied back and said, hey, sorry you didn't like it. I'm trying my best. And that shit hit me hard.
Yeah.
And I deleted it, all that stuff. And deleted
the
whole account. I deleted the whole account. I was like, we're done with this. There's like no more Twitter. We're off. Because I don't need to be mean to people. So I understand it. And then now I get it. And I think sometimes the negative stuff I get, one is a byproduct of just getting views. A certain percentage are going to be negative. Two, I think I had some of this karmically coming because I spent a lot of time being pretentious about acting, being pretentious about comedy, being pretentious about all this stuff. And I think sometimes you just have to experience it yourself to learn what it feels like to be on the other side of that. And I wish I could say I'm not judgmental, but I am. I'm still incredibly judgmental. But now when I'm being judgmental, I do try to, I try to do it less. B, I try to not do it publicly. And C, usually even if I have something bad to say about somebody, there is something positive that I can also find. Like, but at least, they're trying. Like, and like, maybe they'll figure it out. I try. Obviously, I'm not perfect. We're all shit talkers. It's too fun. It's too much fun to talk shit, man. It's a blast.
It is kind of fun. That's why girls will be like, let's just sit down and gossip.
Oh, it's the best.
But then be like, but we shouldn't judge them.
Yeah, but you have to, and you do.
And you do.
And you do, because you do judge. It's just about figuring out. I just think like you shouldn't leave mean comments in people's comment sections.
Look,
But
I totally
it happens to
agree.
the best of us. We've all done it. Like I've done it. I've hated. I've hated publicly. I've commented publicly on stuff.
We've been haters.
You know, yeah.
Been a hater.
Yeah. And especially with comedy, like you are a hater. Sometimes that is fun. Sometimes it is funny to be a hater. People are good at being haters, for sure.
Yeah.
People
there's
make
a lot
it
of humor
hilarious.
in that.
I've done roast battles. Like I've done roast battle, which is like hating in front of an audiance and saying like really terrible stuff about people in front of an audience and being like, this probably best if this isn't recorded. Let's hope because I'm trying to win this roast battle right now.
For sure. Oh my God.
But no, roast battle's a blast.
Okay, so something someone could roast you on.
Yeah.
To just pivot slightly.
Yeah. Oh, you're just gonna roast me?
Oh my God, I wish I could.
Oh, I thought you were like something. Speaking of which, I do have something.
Well, you
to
fall
say.
into pools.
I fall into pools?
Allegedly. Is this a problem that you have?
What? Where's this from?
You've mentioned that you've fallen into pools and that you have a problem with it. And it happens during your catering gigs.
Oh, yeah. That's a bit.
I'm trying to roast you on stuff that didn't even happen.
No, I've never fallen into a pool while catering, but it's happened. It's been close. I've been close. Sometimes they'll make you do crazy stuff in catering. Like we had to climb on the edge of someone's pool, like one of those giant, like, rich people with rocks around it type pools.
Yeah.
We had to walk along the narrow edge in dress shoes, which is tough, and pick up like all the giant candles that had been there. So just me and my buddy Marcus are just picking up these giant candles and like trying not to fall into the pool. Mm-hmm. It's almost happened because you're passing apps and you're trying to like scooch around people and you're straddling the pool. And, yeah. Because people just treat you like a ghost when you cater. Mm-hmm. They barely acknowledge you.
You're just kind of like,
I've bumped into people and they've been like, what was
that? And they're like, this floating hand bringing me drinks.
Yeah, oh, literally, yeah. Yeah.
Okay, amazing. Wow.
So I haven't fallen into any pools.
Never.
No, sorry.
Damn it.
Sorry you did research on stuff I said in character and I've pivoted. And now I do stuff as Austin.
So funny.
And so
I nerd out over interviews. I'm like, what is the deepest thing I can find in this person's like Google history?
It's so funny. It's like Nardwar, but I have like multiple personalities. So he's asking about the other personality. And it's like, oh, that wasn't me. That was my brother. I also don't have a twin brother. That's a joke.
I did know that.
I put that in my bio.
I figured that out.
People send me messages like, hey, you and your twin, we want to. And I was like, that's one of the most embarrassing things that's ever happened to me. Someone came up and was like, oh, dude, I have a twin also. And I was like, oh, no. I never thought I'd feel bad for this joke.
You're appropriating their twin.
Yeah, I know. And I should take it out of my bio.
Wow.
It was just one of those things where like, my goal was Stoney, especially in the beginning, and it's kind of fading now because I'm blending it with my stand-up, which I do mostly as myself.
Yeah.
But that's the thing about Stoney is there's bits that I have that are basically Stoney McBlaze bits because Stoney's just the highest version of myself. So I do a lot of goofy stuff. I do love Subarus. I do drive a Subaru. I do smoke weed. So all that stuff is true. But I did the twin thing.
Okay, wait, let's go back to the roast part now that I know
roast
you
me.
own
Sorry, yeah,
now
sorry, my
that
bad,
I
my
know
bad.
that you own a Subaru.
What else did you want to roast me on?
No, just that.
Oh, that I own a Subaru?
Just that part.
What car do you drive?
A Volkswagen.
You drive a Volkswagen?
Yes,
and you're gonna come for me? You're gonna come for me? Your car.
Just kidding. Go back to the other thing.
Did your dad buy you your Volkswagen?
No, I bought me my Volkswagen.
Nice. That's a classic. Like, let's get our daughter a safe first car, and then when it goes bad, she'll have to get exclusive German parts that are impossible to get with so much maintenance.
I was saying to my friend, I'm probably the youngest person who drives a Volkswagen Tiguan.
I remember that was being a lot of people's like, oh, not the Tiguan. Oh, that's what the crossover, right?
Yeah,
it's a little bit bigger.
It's a little bigger.
That's cool. I remember Volkswagens being
like
a lot of
mom
people's
car.
first cars. Yeah, it kind of is a mom car. But it was so are Subarus, apparently.
Yeah, that's why I was like, we can just return back. We can go.
Yeah. No, I was bummed because you said, when you were like, oh, what car? I was like, sick. I'm going to think of a sick roast. And then you said Volkswagen. I was like, I have no roasts. Dang it. That's like the one car I don't have. I mean, it was a Nazi car. That's up there. That could be it. Yeah. They made Volkswagen, Mercedes-Benz.
No roast
I found the deepest
Nazi
one.
Joke.
I was gonna say, there's only one thing I can roast you about is that they were involved with Nazis. That's the one big roast.
All right, and that's it for our episode.
That's a good end. I just go hard. I just pivot hard.
So I go hard, like, oh my god.
Well, and congratulations. I think, the Nazi car is a good car. No, I did think the troll part of me was like,
oh my god,
I know this is like a very like woman forward podcast.
Thanks for coming on my women's forward,
dude.
podcast.
Yeah, I was one. You made some good. No.
How's your period going?
Honestly, bad. Once a month, I do go through something.
Men do. Okay.
Once a month, I go through something, dude, for sure.
Men do have a phase. There are still phases for men.
Yeah.
It's just not like a flow,
No.
but like, there are hormonal things that men also go through.
Yeah.
That is like a cyclical thing. So
it's crazy being in a long-term relationship with someone and actually all guys have like an idea of what a period is. They have like a concept of it. But until you've been with someone for a long time, you don't actually understand how fucking crazy they are. You don't understand the crime scene level, like, events that take place. And it could be happening to any woman at any time, and you would never know. They'll never tell you. They hide it. They only tell their friends, and like when they get real close to their boyfriends, you unlock the period door, and you're like, wait a second, this has been happening. It's like walking in a restaurant, and you're like enjoying a steak, and then you walk in the back and see them slaughtering the animal, and you're like, huh? I don't know. All this violence have been being perpetrated every month for like a week
or longer.
It's crazy. And I mean, not to sound like I don't know what, but it's crazy that you're able to accomplish what you can accomplish with that happening every week. It's
pretty wild.
It's nuts.
Yeah.
It's truly nuts.
Do you have sisters?
No, both brothers.
Oh, okay,
so I had no
yeah.
idea until I
Okay.
got into like a serious relationship.
Welcome.
What
My boyfriend doesn't have
the
sisters
burden,
either.
dude. It's a burden. It's crazy. It's so nuts.
Well, I'm glad that
It's not chill.
you can appreciate it. It's
I try
not
to.
chill.
I mean,
It's-
I'll only ever have a concept. Like I'll
Yeah.
never, even if you did like a period simulator, which I would like to do, I would be super into it. I don't know how to
Part
get
2.
one. I would love to do it.
We'll have to bring you back on. And
Yeah,
try
with
and
bring
find
me and my
one.
girlfriend on, and she can watch me do
Oh my
the period.
God.
I'm down. I'd super love to do it. But I mean, even with that, you'll never fully know what it's actually like. But I know a little bit more, and I'm like, damn, that's crazy.
Wow.
That's crazy.
But I bet you do. Does she, not to blow her up, but does she get like food cravings or anything?
I don't know. Kind of, a little bit. I'm not sure.
Maybe you get to like at least enjoy some of like the fun parts of
Yeah. It's just
group activities.
Yeah, definitely.
Go get your nails done together.
Yeah, I hate getting my nails done.
For real?
I got a manicure once because my roommate got one he had to go for a commercial.
Yeah.
I was like, let's go, I'll do it. I don't like it. It hurts the whole time. The whole time it hurts.
Okay, wait.
I don't like it at all.
Did they give you a pedicure?
No. Because I couldn't imagine that. With how I was like, oh, I'll be fine. My hands, like I'm used to like, whatever with my hands, but I didn't like it at all. Everything hurt. It hurt at all times.
Wow.
It was just poking, prodding, pinching, pulling, snipping, pain. I hated it. All of it hurt.
I'm going to recommend a different experience for you.
Okay.
So you take an edible.
Okay.
Don't do anything with your nails.
Uh-huh.
Go for a pedicure.
Okay.
Ask for the shoulder massage.
Okay.
No color. Color if you want.
Yeah, I don't think I don't like people touching
Okay.
my feet. It'd be weird. I'm not ticklish, but it's just
right.
like I don't like I don't like the idea of people. I get nervous cutting my own toenails.
I hear you.
I get worried that I'm gonna cut too short with myself, and so I can't really trust. I am scared the whole time that they're gonna cut me too short,
Wow.
and then it's gonna like hurt, and I'm gonna like bleed. I get that.
No nail salon experience for you.
I've had one, and I'm good.
And you're good.
I'll pass.
All right. Well,
I'll pass.
amazing.
But everybody else, go get a pedicure and a shoulder massage. Because massages are great.
It is amazing. Okay, so
I think other people should take your advice.
Massages.
Yeah, no, massages are awesome.
Okay.
And I wish that I liked having my nails like cleaned up, but it's uncomfortable. It hurts. So
I feel like you should have just a second try,
okay,
but I'm not going to
fair.
pressure you.
That's not a bad call.
It shouldn't hurt, and so I feel like maybe you should try a different place.
And we did do it wrong. We did go to just anyone.
No,
my girlfriend was like,
"No,
dude, you can't just go to."
No, she's correct.
You got to look at the reviews. 100%. It has to be a certain. So I think
you just
you're
can't
right.
walk
I should
in off
go
the
to a
street.
separate one.
If you didn't need an appointment, it's probably not very good.
That's a great barrier to entry.
No offense.
That's a great barrier to entry.
But it is, because if someone needs to book their time with you, I feel like you're an important person.
Yes, that's a great point.
Yeah.
Good to know. Thanks for the tip.
Anytime.
And now we know. dudes. We can go. We just got to go to the right one, and they won't hurt us.
It's not supposed to be.
You're like, it's not supposed to hurt. I was like, dude, it hurt the whole time. It hurt the entire time.
What were they using? A chainsaw?
That was just very flippant, and I didn't feel cared for. I felt
no, that's
I was aggressive with my hands.
No,
she attacked my hands for sure.
Awful experience.
She was getting with it she like this, a lot of this.
Okay,
a lot of this with the tweezer thing, just pulling stuff. And,
well,
she was aggressively filing, which I don't love the texture of the file. It sort of is a nails. I don't mind nails on a chalkboard, but I do mind nails on a nail file.
I hate
that feeling you get, that's kind of what I get when she files.
I hear you. Okay. Yeah. Look, we're going to bring you back for period simulations with your girlfriend and a nail salon experience, but one with appointments that's like good and fancy.
Yeah, we got that's got to be protected.
That. Yeah.
I was looking for the right word and I couldn't find the right word. I was like, that's got to be vetted, verified. That's what it is. It has to be a vetted, verified place.
I also
establishment.
Like protected.
Protected's good.
Security is great.
I have to be protected from a violent nail technician.
Yeah. Amazing. Okay.
Go leave hateful comments on violent nail technicians. If you've been wronged by a nail technician, go to town in that comment section.
Bad Yelp review. Amazing. Oh my God.
Have you ever left a bad? I don't think I've ever left a bad Yelp review. Have you?
No, I don't think I have.
Okay.
I've definitely called places if I've had like specific issues.
Yeah.
But I don't know if I've ever had such a bad experience that I've left a Yelp review.
Yeah.
I feel like you'd have to be so fucking mad. Like, I do wonder about the people who do take. Wait, I'm sorry. Have you left a Yelp review?
No, I haven't.
Yeah.
I don't think I have. Maybe
like,
just star. Maybe I've given something like a friend's thing, like 5-star. I don't think I have though.
I always give people 5 stars.
Yeah.
Because who leaves 4 stars
Dude,
for someone?
4-star is worse than 1. If you leave a 4-star review, you're actually the worst kind of person.
You are a fucking sociopath.
That's the bad, because you're nitpicking at that point.
What's a 4-star?
It's crazy.
Like you weren't like you're that teacher who was like, I can't give you the A+ because you didn't earn it. You earned just the A.
Right.
It has to be perfect.
You're bringing in non-tangibles. It's like, our server was a bit too chatty. Food was great. Service was good. Server talked a little too much about her kids.
Yeah.
4 stars.
Yeah.
And it's like, no.
They were wearing their hat backwards.
Yeah.
They had a pin that I disliked.
Yeah.
Who the fuck knows?
Yeah.
But I think give a 1-star review.
Yeah, just give a 1 star and let us really deal with it.
Yeah, we can figure it out.
We'll figure it out from there. Give us some of the action, because I think that's what it is. It's like 3 stars and below is like action items.
Exactly.
It's like a legitimate problem that can be fixed, or they just are like, they're just like being unreasonable. They're being unreasonable potentially. But the 4-star is the one because that's just they didn't like it. You can't fix a 4-star.
Yeah.
So.
I agree. Okay, so everyone also go to all your pages and leave 1 star.
1 star. 1 or 5. 1 or 5. 1 or 5-star reviews.
Apologies.
1 or 5 stars.
1 or 5.
1 or 5.
Preferably 5.
Yeah, 5 is best. But if you got a legitimate grievance.
An actionable
offense.
Fixable offense.
Yes.
Amazing.
Let's find out.
As you're about to go on tour.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, luckily there's no reviews and there's no refunds. So you're getting what you've already paid for.
Someone can just leave you like a Post-it note at the end of the night by the stage.
Yeah.
Amazing. Sure. Okay. Before we go, anything else you want to share? Any other upcoming things you want people to know about?
We have another show, Carpool Comedy, April 13th. We're working on the lineup right now. The first one's going to be on the 30th. And then we kind of go on like small tour here. So 420, San Diego. April 28th, Austin, Texas, Vulcan Gas Company. And then June 22nd is Vancouver. And then Vancouver, Portland, Seattle. Or Vancouver, Seattle, Portland, Truckee, which is in NorCal, Oakland. And then July 4th is Breckenridge, Colorado. 5th and 6th is Vail. 7th and 8th is Denver, Colorado. And the East Coast, we're looking at September. We're figuring it all out right now.
Nice.
Every week, my roommate runs a free show called Home Cooking Comedy in Pasadena. And I typically do 5 minutes of just straight up crowd work at the top.
Oh, amazing.
To just cold open the show, get everybody loose.
Yeah.
I loosen it up. And then sometimes I'll do full sets there as well. It's all in my link tree. So just go to Stoney McBlaze on any of the platforms. And in that link tree, you'll find all the dates.
Awesome. Cool. Well, thank you so much, dude. Thanks for being here.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for hanging out, smoking, drinking some waters, and talking about life.
Yeah.
Appreciate
what a blast.
It. All right. Thanks, everyone, for watching another episode of Send Us Flowers. I'm sending you all flowers, and I will see you all next week.
Bye.